All right. So, hi, I'm Heather. I'm very twitchy this morning, but I have done some of my Qigong practice and it definitely helped. And I intend to do some more right after this. And I want to note that I wasn't quite this twitchy until I actually hit live, and that's okay. I did call this a come as you are check-in, so that means that's what I do. And where am I? Okay. So, uh, there's a lot that I've experienced in the past just few days. That'll take some time to land. One of them is my phone is not quiet. My youngest brother has started an organization called Survivors for Change to support victims, male victims of sex abuse, specifically currently focused on one hockey coach in particular who is still living. And a documentary has been made about my brother and some other men who have come forward, and his partner in this organization is a big part of the documentary as well. There's pictures of our childhood home in it. There's pictures of, there's pictures of his childhood, which did include me. So I saw myself on the screen as well. And I'm really grateful that, it was only half an hour. So I know they didn't have a lot of time to go into a lot of graphic detail. And I was really grateful for that. I am aware of a lot of graphic details of my brother's experience. So yeah, that happened yesterday. And then I'm missing my daughter very, very much. We're currently not seeing a whole lot of each other, but I did get to have dinner with her on Monday to celebrate her 18th birthday together. And I'm having this wonderful memory that's been kind of flooding in, and that was part of my inspiration for coming here, is I wanted to share some of the rough draft ideas as they're coming back to me, because that'll help me build on them, to allow space for more of the details of the memory to come back. But it was inspired by this photo that I have had on my desktop for a while now. And I'm on one side of the frame, just entering the frame. I mean, my whole body's in the frame, but I'm entering, and I'm kind of playing with I have a wrap around my shoulders, and I'm wearing this super cute dress that I remember just fucking loving how I felt in this dress. Brown with polka dots. And I'm barefoot, and Ainsley is on that. I'm looking at Ainsley I can't believe you're making me do this. And Ainsley's on the other side, and she's in this posture of come here, Mom. It's kind of a cross between a hooked finger and you are getting over here right now. She's all sassy, her hip out and her head up, and her hair is super cute. And she has this beautiful little feather in her hair, and she's just wearing her favorite little outfit too, and it's so cute. And all around us, which isn't in the image, so I'll have to build the detail of this, and there are photos, is like the most magical fairyland because we kind of unexpectedly found ourselves that day at a wedding that we'd been invited to just like a week before for these really beautiful human beings. And it was out in the gorge and on somebody's property. I don't remember whose, or it was rented. I don't know. But it had a lake and all these gorgeous weeping willows over the lake and trees, and everything was outside, and the sun was perfect and the warmth was perfect, and my brother was there. My brother was one of the groomsmen in this wedding. That's part of how we got invited. And everybody just had the best fucking day that day. My husband, my daughter, and I, we had so much fun that day. It was like a peak experience as a family. We'd even been in a parade that morning, for fuck's sake. Like, there's this little annual parade in this little tiny town in the gorge. And at the time, my husband's grandma, and grandpa had an old cool car, and they always drove it in the parade, and they said that we could ride with them. And it's one of those parades where you can throw candy at people. You can throw it at the people who are alongside. And so Ainsley and I are back in this really fucking cool car throwing candy at people. And like, everybody's just having a fucking great day. We went to the most magical wedding. Oh my gosh. It was so incredible. And I remember all day I just kept looking around going, how did we end up here? Because it's awesome. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of visuals coming in, and happy memories. And also just coming back full circle to the image, the photo that kind of inspired this whole thing is how my daughter has always been the one who's been able to draw me out. And be fierce and loving and compassionate and kind, and still navigating a lot of her own stuff too. So, and the other memory that's coming in that's like also part of the impetus, the inspiration for this, is last Christmas Eve when I gave her her Christmas present, which was this photo album I'd made, and stories from her friends and photos they'd given me to put in the book and stuff. It was really awesome. And she had, I can't remember exactly what led up to it, but she had this really bright look on her face, and she was like, so can you like write stories about my life? And I was like kind of surprised by the clarity and the brightness and the intensity of her idea. And I was like, yeah, that is a good idea. Yes, I can do that. And so I've started doing that by giving her photo albums of some of our family vacations from her childhood. And I made videos of the handmade albums that I haven't quite figured out how to make copies of yet, because I'm not willing to not have a copy of those at least. The others I can recreate on Snapfish, but my handmade ones, I need to have a copy when I give her the originals. Sorry, I distracted looking at them and realizing that that's a big deal to put those. That was part of what we talked about at dinner. Was she said, well, you could put the photo albums in the oak chest. And then when I take the hope chests, I'll take the photo albums. And yeah. But good news is it'll be at least a year. So I have time to figure out how I want to keep a copy of those for myself. Whether it's, I guess, me going, just telling the stories as I go through them. I don't know. Okay. It's time for me to get busy getting ready for a doctor's appointment. I'm really, really grateful that I can do doctor's appointments from home. That is awesome. It's currently the thought of driving from North Portland to Oregon City to be in person with my doctor sounds fucking awful. And I wouldn't have had the time to do all of this qigong and check-in and water drinking and self-care if I had had to drive to fucking Oregon City to see my doctor. Sorry, nothing wrong with Oregon City. It's the distance that I'm swearing at. Oregon City is quite lovely, actually. I'd like to hang out there one day, just to walk around and look in the windows and stuff. Lots of window shopping over there. Okay, so how would I like to close? In conclusion, yeah, okay. A couple other breadcrumbs I guess I'm leaving for myself. Just saying out loud, it helps. I want to more fully engage at a higher level with both the Catherine Bird program I'm in, the 5 Elements for Empaths, and Aransis's Live Up program. I need to prioritize those over any of the other self-education that I am doing because it's currently a distraction. And simplify and slow down is the direct information I've received from Catherine in the live call earlier this week. So my homework is to just do like a warm up. So I'm doing her simple practice, like the very first one. Do the warm up for about 7 minutes, and then I'll do I'll just keep rewinding and listening again and again to the dredging the channels section. And then I will fast forward through to the last little bit. That's kind of a cool down. So I bet that'll end up being about a 20 plus minute practice. And that'll be good. I will commit to doing that daily, even if I have to break it up into segments, which is likely. I actually really like the idea of segments because then I get a little bit throughout the day. Had a wonderful, we also did meditation differently this morning before my sweetheart left for work. So every morning most mornings we go outside, especially if it's nice. And we usually, or at least for the past several months, have listened to a Sam Harris meditation every morning. But today, he just really wanted to do about 5 minutes. And he's like, I just don't want to hear Sam tell me where to find my head. I know exactly where my head is. I mean, yeah, and I don't want to listen to Sam this morning either. So we just sat quietly and held hands with our eyes closed and meditated on our own for 5 minutes. And then we had our customary closing. There's a certain place that I stand so that I'm exactly the same height as him. And we hug and we share some sweet, sweet conversation. And then he goes to work. And part of the sharing this morning was I said, I love starting the day with you. And one of his big appreciations frequently is he loves coming home to me. So, okay. Thank you for being on the receiving end of my check-in. I feel some reduction of the tension inside me by just releasing all of that and sharing it, and just completely letting go of what happens on the other end. I have no control over that whatsoever. Okay. I'm going to go have a kick-ass day. I hope you do too.